local, lethal, and loud. This is the Scooter McGee Show on News Talk 1310 KFKA.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
All right, kids, sit back, get comfy cozy. It's time for Shallow Moments with Scooter McGee.
Well, good evening, Gotham, Metropolis, Emerald City, Xanadu, Babylon, to the ISS, and the rest of you. Tonight, we're live from the CRP 4x4 studios. Stand by for a Quantum News Network production of Scooter McGee Show. I am he. Find me on the World Wide Web tonight, 1310kfk.com. We're going to try and reboot this now, because in theory, I'll talk to Troy tomorrow. So we have a new text line we can start using so you can start talking to the show. We're going to integrate that to the ScooterMcGeeShow.com, which is a blank page now with a contact form that will allow you, the listener, to send me, to forward to the I'm not forward, even the web guys have access to the email. What do you want to see on the web page? News, headlines, videos, blogs, forums, chat, that kind of stuff. So that's over at the new thescootermcgeeshow.com page. All the headlines we're going to get to tonight on social media, 1310kfk.com. Here is your rundown. I wish I'd made some of these up. I really do. A situation on Kilauea. In Hawaii, situation at Kilauea. Having to do with bystanders and firearms. All right. We'll get to that. Chinese silent killer lasers now can eliminate aircraft. That headline up on social media at 1310kfk.com. Stand by for this one. His Holiness Pope Francis, he vows never again for clergy sexual abuse to be allowed to be covered up. You can place your bets there. The latest report, United States oil output jumping to record high. U.S. natural gas production in the lower 48 states also rising to an all-time high. We'll get to those numbers. Now, I am still stunned. Day 3, Roseanne is in the... But how one tweet can now blow up your life. And the reality that all Americans are just one bad tweet away from being fired. So I have that up on my Twitter feed at 1310kfk.com. And then the follow-up story is sex on Mars. It's gonna be risky, but it could create a new human subspecies. What? We'll get to that story. Now, a Russian war correspondent fleeing Kiev after criticizing Vladimir Putin and Moscow. He was shot dead. This story is bizarre. Regarding a Russian journalist and the police, Vladimir Putin, and now on the international potential crime suspects top 10 list around the globe, potentially his wife. Any of you who have survived the entanglement of cheating on your spouse, this story is pale in comparison. You'd rather be caught dozen times with another woman that have to explain this lie. What the lie is, I promise we'll tell you before the 10 o'clock hour. Even I should have shown up for rehearsal. Julian Assange back on the radar again. The Ecuadorian embassy, he can stay, but now they're saying there's conditions. What are the conditions? So we'll get to all of that tonight and more. Only because it's in the script for tonight, so you have to at least follow some outline. So we'll get to that along with your calls. Toll free at 877-353-1310 or 970-353-1310. For now, since I don't know how to work the text number yet, you can email me through thescootermcgeeshow.com. Fair enough?
You've just heard Shallow Moments with Scooter McGee. Thank God that's over with.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
We really got to get to this guy in Kiev. I'm telling you, this story, when you guys hear, oh man, somebody's sleeping on the couch for about 2 years. Assuming he doesn't turn up dead over the weekend. All right, we'll get to it after the bottom of the hour break, all right? Now that the commander-in-chief has left the building, President Donald J. Trump said earlier today, Thursday, 5/31/18, it's going to take more than a meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un to seal a denuclearization deal that he would like Pyongyang to dismantle its nuclear weapons program as quickly possible under an agreement. Any agreement. We're still not up yet to June 12th, so a lot can happen. Off to Texas to some Republican fundraising events, as well as still dealing in the wake of the Texas shooting. In a brief interview with Reuters about Air Force One, Trump is still hopeful that a summit can take place with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un June 12th in Singapore as planned. He points out, I'd like to see it done in one meeting, but oftentimes that's not the way deals work. President emphasizing that it may take more than a meeting. Well, now the meeting that never could happen, that the media said if it did happen, the World War III, and now that it did happen, well, now it's not going to happen, World War III is going to happen. But if you don't have the meeting and you don't get it all done in one meeting, what's going to happen? You see the hypocrisy in the back and forth on this story. Trump points out there's a very good chance that it won't be done in one meeting or 2 meetings or 3 meetings. But it'll get done at some point. It may get done really nicely and really intelligently, or it may not get done intelligently. It may have to be the hard way. President Trump believes that Lil Kim Jong-un, leader of North Korea, wants a deal. Trump said, I think he, being Lil Kim Jong-un. When it comes to a deal, Trump says, first of all, I think I'll get it done in a very smart, organized fashion, and I think that Kim Jong-un wants to see that also. He went on to say, I'm also going to be very happy when the day arrives when we can take sanctions off and have a very good relationship with the entire Korean peninsula. Technically a state of war with the United States, allies, South Korea, and North Korea, of course, been going on for decades. Combat, of course, ended in 1953, but peace was never signed. Why does the media still so desperately want to just tag and bag before the event has even taken place? And if it doesn't happen in one meeting, oh my God, we'll all die. I know. President Trump said he'll be most likely visited by a North Korean envoy. This will take place in theory tomorrow at the White House after official meetings with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo conclude in New York. It is said that the North Korean official is carrying a letter to President Trump from Kim Jong-un that may, in fact, be a reply from the very public letter that President Trump signed and then displayed and put on social media of thanks for the hostages, keep up the rhetoric. I hope to God it doesn't go this way, but, you know, we can't play like this much longer. All right, stand by. Massive format change with no explanation. I'm going to give you a very slight one. When I started this now 12 years ago this past April, it can be this long. Yeah, well, I don't like them that long. I'm a DJ. Music, love, passion. I get it. Then it became a matter of stretching the boundaries and playing that game, and that was fun. Then hearing others that would go, okay, well, they were all on that format, but now they're changing their format. And imitation is one of the highest forms of flattery, Scooter. Yeah, all right. All of that changed 6 weeks ago when another national syndicated host started playing Gangster's Paradise. That is number one of a 2-song set for Uncas. I'm done.
What may be junk to you just might be another man's treasure. From stamps, sports memorabilia, silverware, or old jewelry, what may be junk to you just might be another man's treasures. Located at 2002 9th Street in Greeley, Another Man's Treasures can take these old items and convert them into cold, hard cash. Located at 2002 9th Street, remember Another Man's Treasure.
Meet Bill.
I'm Bill, and I'm happy.
Meet Bill's livestock. Meet Bill's crops. Why is Bill, his livestock, and crops happy? Hr3 Resources. Hr3 Resources offers turnkey groundwater development and all related services for residential, agricultural, and municipal customers. The Hr3 Resources Rocky Mountain Region Office, serving all of the Front Range, is in Fort Lupton. Please call 303-857-4171. Hr3 Resources.
So you think the Pawn Stars are in Vegas, huh? Have you been to City National Pawn? 3301 West 10th Street in Greeley, and you're the Pawn Star. With great deals on commercial and industrial tools, electronics, smartphones, laptops, and fine jewelry. So many great deals and a constantly changing inventory guarantee you get the best deal in town at City National Pawn. Need quick cash fast? City National Pawn has got you covered there too. Monday through Friday and Saturdays, remember, you're the Pawn Star at City National Pawn, 3301 West 10th Street in Greeley.
Mrs. Baker, Billy is going to be just fine.
Oh, thank goodness.
We'll just need to get his leg in a splint.
Why use an expensive splint when this tree branch will do the trick?
If he appears to be in pain, we may need to prescribe something.
A prescription? Just give him some cough syrup like all the other parents do.
Billy's also going to need a local anesthetic when we stitch that wound.
Oh, Billy doesn't need any anesthetic. He's a tough kid, aren't you, Billy? High five!
Ow!
Aren't you glad you're not Billy? This scenario is not far from how your vehicle is treated when you take it to a direct repair shop recommended by your insurance company's claims department. They'll push the shops to take shortcuts on your repairs in hopes that you don't notice. This is Mike Morris, owner of Auto Collision Specialists. I promise that the only person in charge of your repair will be you. Our commitment at Auto Collision Specialists is to restore every customer's car to pre-accident condition. After all, isn't that why you paid your monthly premium? When you want control of your next repair, give me a call at 970-356-8645.
Matt Rivette started in real estate just in time for the bottom to fall out of the market, and it turns out it was a good time to start. From day one, Matt Rivette had to do it right. Serve the client. Turn for sale into sold. 32 years later, we know market conditions will change, but Matt Rivette's commitment to you won't. This is a good time to get to know Matt Rivette at Pro Realty. List your commercial, income, or residential property with Matt Rivette. Call Matt Rivette at 970-356-1234 or go to ProRealtyHomes.com.
Cutting-edge commentary from the edge of reality. The Scooter McGee Show is back on News Talk 1310 KFKA.
This portion of the Scooter McGee Show is brought to you by Canine Crunchies. Canine Crunchies can't be beat. They make each meal a special treat. Happy dogs are those who eat delicious Canine Crunchies. Canine Crunchies all contain nutritious, sweet, and wholesome grain. Toy Chihuahua or Great Dane, you'll all love Canine Crunchies. Canine Crunchies are made by the makers of Feline Finchies.
Welcome back to the Scooter McGee Show. See, we need like the... No, now, guys, here's what I hear in my head. This is because I want to see now who's the first who does this on the up line down. We are other than music so that I can't be taken out of context. Bumper music does no longer exist on this show. We're done. I do not want an Art Bell breakaway rejoiner. I want something completely different but similar in vernacular for engineering, speak for radio. In technical breakdown. So if that was a deliberate 7-second, you know that thing? Whatever the technicals are, that's what I want. But something, well, figure it out. Nope. If Michael were here, we'd be deleting them. I'm sorry, I'm fighting with somebody. Hold on. No. I got it. Yes, you mean this thing? Yeah, no, we're done with those. I'm sorry. See, that button's broken now. Because I said I heard it 6 weeks ago, but again, no, I'm pissed. That is not, I'm sorry, a song that, no. Okay? I'm going to get to the story here about the Russian journalist being shot and killed. You might want to listen to this, guys. Oh, and ladies, wives, you may now actually rethink, yeah, no, women may still want to rethink catching your husband in bed with another woman. I said you may want to rethink. Just may. You may want to go out and buy something frilly, too. See my point? I'm just saying you may. But someone's in a lot of trouble. Thank God it's not me. All right. Back it up a couple days ago. Nobody paid attention. Just the announcement of another dead journalist. Okay, yep. 24 hours later, we have another press conference. Yep. We don't have a dead journalist. All right. Now you got my attention. Arkady Babchenko. With cooperation of the Ukrainian security services, this is creepy. Somebody's in a lot of trouble. I don't mean legally. I just mean when you hear this, can you imagine putting your family? I've put my family through hell. This is not even considered on my radar as anything remotely funny. But it wasn't designed to be funny. It's just, wow. All right. A real assassination plot by Moscow against an anti-Kremlin journalist had been uncovered. The journalist, Arkady Babchenko. So now out of Kiev, they're taking a lot of heat. Yeah, well, I think someone's taking more than you guys. All right. In what was described originally as the press release, the press conference, we got a dead Russian journalist. This was a contract hit killing. He was found dead in his home by his wife. They simulated it so that essentially working with the Ukrainian security forces, they faked his death. They faked his death. They faked his death. Get me out of the debriefing. I need a Coke, a smoke. My wife is going to kill me. I cannot imagine. I mean, and again, I've put my family and the people I love through absolute hell. And I'm very lucky that I can't imagine. Now, they have the second press conference, and surprise, look who's alive. Shock. He said, my goal was to stay alive and ensure the safety of my family. Okay. And they come up with, well, we'll pretend that you're killed execution style. We'll convince everyone around you're dead. And then that'll expose the other conspirators, and then we can swoop in and arrest them. Now, that looks really good on paper, even up on a big blackboard in a nondescript warehouse, with a possible sting going on. But speaking of sting, can we have anybody other than the wife finder? No, that's what gives the story credibility. Oh, my God. Shot to death, execution style, in his home. That's what they staged it to look like. And she came in the room. Someone is never getting in that bedroom again. You can keep the house. She's taken everything else that isn't nailed down. You're lucky she's not taking the floor that you were... See, ladies, I'm in your corner with you on this one. And so they bring him back. Well, he's alive. He's okay. Now what's going on? Well, my goal was to keep my family alive. Well, convincing them you were dead. Now, granted, it was for a day. But still, just the emotional roller coaster. The poor lady. She could be the ugliest, meanest, oldest Olga type, classic, what's the stereotypical pre-World War I Russian woman. My heart still goes out to this poor lady. Okay, if you're into that, fine. I guess Bridget Nielsen. I'm not. Journalists are, dude, what were you thinking? Obviously, sharply criticizing him for staging his own death. They're saying, now, I don't know if it goes this far, because, again, I don't know how he gets in the house to get any sleep to go back to work. In doing so, you've undermined the credibility of the profession of journalism. I didn't know that was possible at this point in the 21st century, the way you guys don't cover anything. Now, the problem is these death threats were coming out of the Kremlin. The first ones. My whole problem now is that, I mean, there's a 10, 20, 30% chance the next time, if he gets clipped, it could be his wife. And could you blame her? And the women, during and before the czars. All right. Russian women on the 60s and 70s Russian Olympic gym teams.
1310 KFKA. 1310 KFKA's First Alert Weather, powered by Denver 7.
Partly cloudy skies for northern Colorado tonight with lows in the mid-50s. Highs near 90 degrees tomorrow afternoon. It'll be sunny and breezy, and we'll be in the low 80s over the weekend with sunshine. I'm Denver 7 meteorologist Stacey Donaldson, 1310 KFKA.
This weather update is brought to you by CRP 4x4, located at the corner of 9th Street and 21st Avenue in Greeley. Call them at 970-351-8603.
Matt Rivette started in real estate just in time for the bottom to fall out of the market, and it turns out it was a good time to start. From day one, Matt Rivette had to do it right. Serve the client. Turn for sale into sold. 32 years later, we know market conditions will change, but Matt Rivette's commitment to you won't. This is a good time to get to know Matt Rivette at Pro Realty. List your commercial, income, or residential property with Matt Rivette. Call Matt Rivette at 970-356-1234 or go to ProRealtyHomes.com.
Well, hi, everybody. Dr. Ron Kasky here. Just one announcement about our webinars. We do these about every 10 days, so track my process on that on my website, www.ronkasky.com, and or in my email newsletters if you receive those. But we're doing them about every 10 days. They're always at 8 p.m. Central Time. That's 7 p.m. Mountain Time. They last 20 minutes. They're fun, they're exciting, they're interesting, they're educational, they are non-technical. And every week the material is brand new. We've been talking about a guaranteed 10% interest roll-up for 10 years and also 8% plus 2 times the index. Live webinar about every 10 days. So be sure, keep track of us, check it out on the website, www.ronkasky.com. Go sign up and do it now. Don't put it off. See you there.
Summertime at Chippers Lanes might just be the most summer thing about summer this summer. Did we mention summer? Summer! There's free bowling for kids, live music, college nights, and of course, the legendary Chippers Summer Pass. The pass includes discounts on laser tag, bowling, shoes, arcade, and snacks. For summer program details, go to chipperslanes.com. Again, that's chipperslanes.com. Chippers Lanes. Food, games, fun. Summer!
J9 Crop Insurance is the leader in crop insurance, offering multi-peril coverage to protect your crops against Mother Nature. With droughts, excess rain, hail, freezes, wildlife, and other elements that could cause the loss of crops, isn't it about time you gave Mike and Janine Freeman of J9 Crop Insurance a call? Call 970-834-1160 or stop by their office at 217 First Street in Alt. Online at j9crop.com, and remember J9 Crop Insurance, specializing in all your crop insurance needs.
Cutting-edge commentary from the edge of reality. The Scooter McGee Show is back on News Talk 1310 KFKA.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Well, good evening and welcome back, Gotham. Welcome, Metropolis, Emerald City, Xanadu, Babylon, to the ISS, and the rest of you. Broadcasting from the CRP 4x4 Studios, 1310 KFKA. Find me, yours truly, Scooter McGee, on the World Wide Web, 1310kfka.com. All the headlines for tonight's stories and more over on the social media there. You don't even have to like, follow, share, stalk, or do any of that. It's just a public page, so go take a look. Items that you want up on the Scooter McGee Show radio show page. New website is up, thescootermcgeeshow.com. A simple email in the bottom script thingy there goes directly to this phone as well as the web guys, and that'll tell you guys, tell us what to put on the page, and we'll put it up. And if you don't want us to have a page, tell us, and then we don't have to put one up. That'd be cool. Less work for everybody around the ring here. What do you say? That'd be a great idea. Yes, there will be. So several now shooting emails. Yes, there'll be a news feed. I do not know who will select at this point. The videos now are being done on YouTube, so you can just find the Scooter McGee Show on YouTube and subscribe or social media. And then on the Twitter feed, everyone's saying that the link doesn't work. We just checked it. It works. Just click the box. Just click it once and it starts. But then you can't be scrolling. Otherwise, you have to click and open to another deal and just send it to a spam account, open a free account, and you can watch the show. It's a teaser to get you off social media for a little while. And then the trick of this one is you can always open a second window and run them side by side. Dummies. So, enough of this. Let's get back to the headlines as we get ready for a very interesting 1st of June. We're coming into some very interesting numerology. We're coming into the summer season. We're seeing record numbers of certain things, in particular, U.S. oil output jumping to a record high March, not April, not May, which isn't over yet. Technically, it is here at midnight, Mountain Time. These numbers are March. U.S. crude oil production jumped 215,000 barrels per day now to 10.47 million barrels a month. That 8 to 10 million a month is the number. They're now at 10.47. That was March, not Memorial Day, where supposedly record numbers. So what May output number? If we're at 11 million barrels plus, that's now, oops, we shot right through 3, right through 4. Here comes $5 on the national gas average. New York over 5. California over 5. Who am I kidding? Parts of California over 6. Let's not talk about Alaska and Hawaii. The information coming from the monthly report that came out earlier today, May 31st, from the Energy Information Administration. Now, here's some of the broader base numbers. Texas oil. Production in Texas rose 4%, almost 4.2 million barrels a day. This now another record. This is March numbers based on, this is record high data based upon the data going back to 2005. The Permian Basin, stretching across West Texas into eastern New Mexico, the largest U.S. oil field. I thought it was Bakken. I was wrong. Thank God Sam isn't here to remind me of that. I have to talk to him. We have to talk to him soon. North Dakota, Bakken field. Output there holding at roughly 1.2 million barrels a day. Output, however, in federal Gulf of Mexico declined 1.1% to 1.7 million barrels a day. Agency also revising February oil production levels down 5,000 barrels a day to only 10.26. So from February, it was 10.26. March, 10.47. If you do just those generic, then we're at 12 for May. We're at 11.6 to 12 for May. That in theory we'll find out right at the end of June, July. United States natural gas production in the lower 48 rose to this is natural gas, all-time high, 88.8 billion cubic feet per day coming out of the ground in March. That number is just, God almighty, 88.8 billion cubic feet per day coming out of the ground in the lower 48. The prior record was February, according to the Energy Information Administration. That was 87.7 billion cubic feet per day. But still up. Texas, nation's largest gas producer, up 1.3% in March to 22.7 billion cubic feet per day. That's the most since April of 2016, 2 years ago. Well, 1 year, 11 months. March 18 versus April 2016 numbers. Pennsylvania, the second biggest gas-producing state. Their state production dipped 16.4 billion cubic feet per day. But that's only down just slightly over 0.5%, 0.06%. And March down from February. Well, February was a record high. So the more you look into these numbers, how they're trying to manipulate them, no, gas and oil both are now incrementally going sideways upwards. And not on the 10-to-1 ratio, not incremental, but clearly they're in proportion. So to say, well, they were down, from last month. Yeah, but the month before was a record month. And for Pennsylvania natural gas, obviously, that bitter Arctic cold they had January, February, had to do with its output. But that is and all the breakdown and all the charts in particular are up for you off 1310kfk.com on the social media for the Scooter McGee Show. So it'll be interesting, your thoughts and takes on that. 877-353-1310. Julian Assange, the Ecuadorian embassy, the situation there. Now, this gets interesting. First, the situation with Tommy Robinson. Second, you have the situation going on with the potential collapse of Italy. Third, you have the situation within Italy going on inside the Vatican. And here's Julian Assange sitting on the back burner. There was talk last week, again, after the most recent blackout, that Assange was getting ready to be swooped up and extradited and brought back either to the United States or I believe it was Switzerland. We'll get into the story here in a minute. But potentially others, because it had to do with the allegations of some domestic sexual monkey business, which was all a cover because this had to do with WikiLeaks from the start. Well, the new president of Ecuador, he's been taking flack from the West, and in particular, supposedly, the Trump White House, to you got to get rid of this Assange problem. The president of Ecuador also publicly pointing out that Assange is more than just a little problem he has to be dealt with. Now, there is still active warrants for him, and for example, in London, it's 24/7. If he pops, he'd be grabbed. There's no doubting this, but where he ends up would be. Well, for right now, he is still staying in the Ecuadorian embassy in London. However, they're now saying, this is the president of Ecuador. He did an interview yesterday with Deutsche Welle, saying that the government would take a decision if Assange does not comply with the restrictions that they're going to impose upon him to stay at the embassy. He says, let's not forget the conditions of his asylum prevent him from speaking about politics or intervening in the politics of other countries. They're pointing out, the Ecuadorian president and the powers that be. He says that's why we cut his communication, which is true. And originally, and again, all the Twitters when Assange got, and the problem, he could safe, and he could tweet, yes, they're treating me well. I can talk about this. I can't talk about that. Well, after being in there for a few years, that's changed. He's become very vocal. We also have populism and nationalism spreading throughout Europe. The, quote, Eurosceptics are causing that big problem in Italy right now. Europe is under a tremendous amount of flack the last week of May and the first week of June with their European Union internet cyber protection laws, clamping down on more free speech in Europe. So Ecuadorian President Moreno, in his statements, this comes after a 2-week investigation by The Guardian over in the United Kingdom, revealing that Ecuador itself had bankrolled a multi-million-dollar spy operation to protect and support Assange. The Ecuadorian government employed an international security company. Undercover agents were used to monitor the visitors, embassy staff, and even so far as British police. Again, Assange has been sitting in there over 5 years. And yes, he's had, whether it was individuals linked to the Kremlin or whether it was Nigel Farage visiting him, he's had visits. There's been now roughly $5 million put through into a secret intelligence budget that protected him. And the West is now applying pressure to Ecuador. You really got to get rid of this guy. Ecuadorian President Moreno previously describing Assange's situation as a stone in his shoe. But it's a problem now. In the interview in Quito, Quito, the president said granting Assange Ecuadorian citizenship in December last year wasn't his idea, but that of the foreign minister. He had delegated all those decisions related to the case to her. He said, I told the foreign minister she should, complete freedom. You do what you want. Choose how to solve the problem. And she chose that system. It wasn't the most suitable, but I respect it. He is denying external pressure from the United States or any other country influencing his government's treatment of Assange, who he now says Assange's stay has surpassed the limits of freedom of expression. The Ecuadorian president went on to say, liberty must be used with a lot of responsibility. Interesting words to think about. We'll be back. Matt Rivette started in real estate just in time for the bottom to fall out of the market, and it turns out it was a good time to start. From day one, Matt Rivette had to do it right, serve the client, turn for sale into sold. 32 years later, we know market conditions will change, but Matt Rivette's commitment to you won't. This is a good time to get to know Matt Rivette at Pro Realty. List your commercial, income, or residential property with Matt Rivette. Call Matt Rivette at 970-356-1234 or go to ProRealtyHomes.com.
So you think the Pawn Stars are in Vegas, huh? Have you been to City National Pawn? 3301 West 10th Street in Greeley, and you're the Pawn Star. With great deals on commercial and industrial tools, electronics, smartphones, laptops, and fine jewelry, so many great deals and a constantly changing inventory guarantee you get the best deal in town at City National Pawn. Need quick cash fast? City National Pawn has got you covered there too. Monday through Friday and Saturdays, remember, you're the Pawn Star at City National Pawn, 3301 West 10th Street in Greeley.
What does Alt Feed Mill have to offer that chain feed stores don't? They care for everyone in the ag industry, whether you're buying a tote of feed for the pigs, chickens, sheep, or horses. If you're buying a truckload for the dairy or feedlot, they have that handled as well. Alt Feed Mill cares about the ag industry and will give you the respect and care that you deserve. They're located at 635 Railroad Avenue in Alt and can be reached by phone at 970-834-2132. Alt Feed Mill, agricultural business done right.
Coyote Ridge Construction is looking for experienced finish plate operators. We provide excellent pay and benefits, including health insurance, pay time off, and a matching 401k plan. Work sites are located across the Front Range and northern Denver area. Applicants must have experience in overlot grading, subgrade prep for concrete and asphalt. We work Monday through Friday with the occasional Saturday. A valid driver's license is required. Apply in person, 6648 County Road 56 in Johnstown. That's Coyote Ridge Construction, an equal opportunity employer. Hablamos español.
Cutting-edge commentary from the edge of reality. The Scooter McGee Show is back on News Talk 1310 KFKA.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Boy, mature audiences is definitely right for this next story from the Huffington Post. Virginia. Charlottesville, Virginia. I don't even want to give this political candidate, I don't even want to give his name. Legally, I have to. He is a 37-year-old accountant from Charlottesville, Virginia. It is May 31st, 2018, in the year of our Lord. His native state, Virginia. Nathan Larson, 37. Amongst his other, I guess, jobs, hobbies, and interests, he is a self-professed stand-by to throw up. He's walking the streets. He's running for public office in Virginia, in the United States of America, in May of 2018. He is an openly admitted pedophile. I saw this and I'm like, this is a gag. This is The Onion. This is something stupid. What is, no. He has admitted to the Huffington Post today, May 31st, 2018, regarding some vetting and some people looking into his life, and they found some websites. He bragged to the Huffington Post about website posts about him raping his late ex-wife. In a phone call with the Huffington Post, Nathan Larson confirmed that he created the now defunct websites, which I will not say, and their various chat rooms that served as gathering places for pedophiles and violence-minded misogynists like himself. Misogynistic pigs, I didn't know we were violent. How can you hit them if they're up on a pedestal? You don't even want them to break a nail. Let alone break a sweat in the kitchen. Excuse me. It's a gathering place for pedophiles and violence-minded misogynists versus the non-violence-minded misogynists. I just don't get that. He admits this is like himself. His campaign website shared the IP address with these other now defunct websites. Those sites were terminated by their domain host on Tuesday. Rather open about his pedophilia, seemingly unfazed about the long odds of attaining government office, yet alone possibly even freedom by Saturday. I know the FBI is busy on a Trump witch hunt, but when you openly confess you're running for public office, you are an open pedophile, you brag about raping your late ex-wife, you host these websites looking for violence, like-minded, misogynistic pigs, someone should be knocking at your door, you would think. He's unfazed about this. Is normal. This is past the salt. He says a lot of people are tired of political correctness and being constrained by it. I don't think pedophilia has anything to do with sexual or political correctness here, Mr. Larson. I use the term Mr. very. See, and the union came over last night, and we had a long conversation. We spent quality naked time together. I wish. My God. I'm going to run for office. You're probably not going to. Well, I'm going to bring the issues to the table. Like what? Well, people are so tired of political correctness. I mean, you want to stick your into a kid, that should be legal. It should be normal. Normal. People prefer when there's an outsider who doesn't have anything to lose and is willing to say what's on a lot of people's minds. Well, I've sadly been in Virginia. The people are great. Country, the area is beautiful. Food, wonderful. Moonshine, no thank you. Another story. Yeah. I have a feeling the people even in Virginia are losing their minds that you're walking on the streets. Asked about whether there's he said, if you're a pedophile or are you just writing about this? Well, it's a mix of both. People go over the top. There's, of course, a grain of truth in what they're saying. A grain of truth in pedophilia. He wrote an essay about father-daughter incest and another about raping his late ex-wife repeatedly. He said, yeah, there's lots of women out there that have rape fantasies. Wow. His campaign manifesto. He calls Adolf Hitler a white supremacist hero, urging Congress to repeal the Violence Against Women's Act. We need to switch to a system that classifies women as property. All right, maybe the Russian journalist is going to be able to get back into the house and at least sleep on the couch. If he can carpet bomb his little village there, and hopefully one of the villagers who carries the sticks on their backs 12 hours a day through the village, if one of those will land on, and if they sit the sticks down the right angle while she's standing outside now, and she looks down, she might see that. I thought all men were pigs. She'd be saying this in Russian, of course. Thought all men were pigs. Boy, was I wrong. Well, this is Kiev. Thank God it's not Virginia. I wish I'd made that story up. He's a pedophile. He's running for public office. He's an independent.
What may be junk to you